Welcome to ReThink, the podcast that empowers you to challenge your existing beliefs and embrace new, more productive ways of thinking. Here at ReThink, we believe that the key to self-fulfillment lies in shattering old thought patterns and adopting new mindsets that support personal growth and empowerment. With expert guests and thought leaders from a wide range of fields, we explore strategies and insights that can help you achieve success and fulfillment in all areas of your life. From relationships to career, business ownership, and health, you are the source of your own success. We're just here to help you tap into your true potential and create a brighter future. So join us on the journey of personal growth and empowerment, and let's rethink what's possible for our lives. We've all been seduced by the idea that change must be dramatic, like a new job, new body, new business, all in 30 days or less. The go big or go home mindset is everywhere, take massive action, etc., etc. But here's the truth that a lot of people do miss, and that is exceptional results are created through incremental choices. Exponential results also created through incremental choices. In fact, the most successful people in the world, from elite athletes to wealthy entrepreneurs, don't solely rely on bursts of motivation and energy. What do they rely on? Micro consistency. Micro consistency. So this episode is about shifting your mindset from transformation as a tidal wave, if you will, to thinking about transformation as a slow dripping faucet. Because here's the energy science behind this. Energy, science, neuroscience, and behavior stacking all agree on this one thing, that the smallest aligned action repeated becomes unstoppable. You can simply think about the slow dripping of water on rocks. Over time, it erodes away the hard, strong, sturdy rock. So guys, welcome into ReThink. Today we're going to be talking about compound energy and the 1% rule. Compound energy, the 1% rule, small shifts daily that create exponential results. Small shifts, consistent small shifts daily that create exponential results. Or energy stacking. Okay. Welcome into day 28 of our 30 days to manifestation and monetization. If this is the first time you reach ReThink Podcast, welcome aboard. You got 27 days to get caught up on. If you like this kind of content, I ask that you go ahead and subscribe wherever you are so you don't forget, where you found this. We're on all podcasting platforms. And we are 2 days away from our completion of the 30 days to manifestation and monetization. What will end up is a passion work that is revolutionizing our lives, our local community, our families. And it is our passion work, that product or service that we've created, we've built through our passion, and we are actually figuring out how to monetize that and live off of that. Not just live, but create in great detail. And today we're talking about compound energy, being consistent. Really, think about it very simply, being consistent. Consistency is what wins the race. This is true in diets, although I don't like that term, but this is true in life. Incremental changes, however consistent, can really, for the long-term effect, have the biggest transformational power. So that's what we're talking about today. Compound energy, the 1% rule. Let's go. Why does this matter? The real math of energy and effort. Here we go. Energy is not just what you feel, it's what you amplify. Every time you do an Instagram story, write one caption, send one follow-up email, stretch instead of scroll, read one page instead of zoning out, paying attention to your partner, spouse, as opposed to not, putting the correct food in your mouth. All of these things amplify your energy level. Energy is not what you feel, it's what you amplify. You're adding +1 to your momentum account. Let's assume and let's imagine that you have a momentum account. You're trying to keep up momentum. I never forget, I was friends with years ago a young lady who was a personal trainer. And she told me a lot of things, but one thing that I just recognized immediately as truth is she said immediately when people begin to see results, i.e. changes in their physical appearance, you no longer have to convince them to come to work out. Okay? In other words, they've built some level of momentum. They're starting to see a transformation in their body. That was their goal. If they're losing weight or if they're putting on weight, because some people are bodybuilders and they're competitive, bodybuilders. So they're doing the opposite. They're trying to put on weight and physique and things like that. But whatever it is that you're trying to do, once you begin to see it happening, that to me is the start or the visual recognition of momentum. Now, you may have had some momentum going along spiritually, to get you to that point, but certainly once you begin to see results, you know that your momentum account is stacking up. So this is also called energy stacking. It's the compounding effect of tiny, low-resistant actions that eventually create some type of massive result or massive wave or some sort of noticeable result. Okay, energy stacking. It again is the compounding effect of tiny, low-resistant actions that eventually create massive waves. The 1% rule is simple, but it's profound. It is very important. You don't have to turn the ship in one action. You don't have to do that overnight. Improve something about your day by just 1%. And the ripple effect can and will become a tidal wave. Now, the name of this podcast is ReThink. So I want to just kind of take a pause here real quick, just to kind of set ourselves, set our feet on the ground and ground ourselves and realize what we're doing and why we're doing it. What you want to do, and the reason why you listen to this podcast, you say, hey, I hope this guy says something that I can use in a way that I've never heard before that will turn my light on. Say, oh, man, yeah, I never thought about it like that. I want you to begin to dismiss. You don't have to completely get rid of unless you convince yourself that that's necessary. But for now, dismiss what you believe you know. And in place of that, I want you to think about what we're talking about here and seriously consider what this means and the impact it can have on your life. Because you want to, in many ways, I find, to reprogram yourself because much of what we know works against us. It's systematic. And it works for the system and the platforms that we're in. But if we want to be independent entrepreneurs, free thinkers, free dwellers, nomads of this earth, we must think differently. These systems, academia, religion, politics, all of these things work to keep us in a box, controlled. And if you want to get outside those boxes, you have to think differently, hence rethink. So what I'm telling you in today's episode, this compound energy, this energy stacking, this 1% rule, the idea of low resistant actions that eventually create massive waves is a different way of thinking. In our society, particularly in the West, everything is a drive-through. Everything needs to happen immediately, microwave type of environment where people want results immediately. It's in relationships. It's in your personal ideas about yourself. You want to go to college at 15 and graduate at 17 and be world-renowned at 18 and 19. And for some people, that's their reality. But for most, it is not. And so what I'm telling you today is rethink. Think about what you previously thought. And in place of that, put this. I don't have to do everything today. But if I can do this, what is this? The 1% rule. That is to improve something about your day by just 1%. And eventually the ripple will become a tidal wave. Every day, if you can make an improvement in your processes, in your lifestyle, then you're going to look up and one day have the life that you've always dreamed of having. Now, if you focus on improving by 1% every day for 1 year, that doesn't just add up, it compounds. If you know anything about stock market and trading and investment, you know year one is a certain level of investment, but year 21 or year 31, over those years, now you have compounded the investment and you have compounded interest. Okay. So in fact, by the end of a year, you're not just 365% better. Mathematically, you're about 37 times better than you were when you started. And you and I know that most people, unfortunately, will not be consistent. They will not be resilient. They will not be committed to their tasks. Forget just 365 days. I'm talking about over a large percentage of your life in order to complete it. Tomorrow is a very key part of the podcast, and I think you're going to love it. It was really exciting to record. And tomorrow's podcast is day 29. And what we talked about, and I'm saying it in past tense because I've already recorded it. And I'm bringing it up to you now because I want to really plug it in and make sure you hear it because it is legacy manifestation. Legacy manifestation. In other words, what you're doing is bigger than you. So improving your life by 1%, making your life better, just by consequence, the people around you, their lives will improve. Their lives will improve. I think it is, I believe it to be the idea and the motive for most parents is for whatever improvement they can create and sustain in their personal lives, that it is trickled down to their children. So when I see parents who are hard workers, committed, and just doing parent stuff, I know on one hand, they're doing it for the most part for their kids. Their motivation is for their kids. This isn't a motivational trick. This is math. This is math. And not even calculus. This is relatively simple math. This is momentum. This is your way of saying to yourself and saying to the universe, let's go. Let's go. I'm committed to this. This is how you rewire your identity. And that's important because your self-concept, stop me when you've heard this before, your self-concept, the way that you think about yourself is the key ingredient in this particular formula, in this particular recipe. Okay? So that's why this matters. So let's talk about how to make these things happen. And I have a 5-part system. And this is how to apply this 1% in your life. Okay? Whatever your product or service is, it doesn't really matter. The consistency is the key in this particular formula. So let's turn this into something that you can implement right now. This is something that you can implement right now. Here's how. I'm going to show you how to apply this 1% shift system in your content creation, your money mindset, your daily routines. And again, it doesn't matter what your goal is. If you have a product or service, this is going to work for you. So number one, I want you to pick one area to focus on, just one. Don't scatter your energy. I have said this for the last 20 years. I don't care for the term of multitasking because to me it's the jack of all trades, master of none kind of situation where your energy is split. I prefer to Identify a task, complete the task, and move to the next task. That, to me, is the most comprehensive way to deal with tasks. When you are trying to do multiple things at the same time, you may think you're being effective, but in truth, you cannot give all of your energy to multiple things at the same time. It just doesn't exist. It's not a thing. It sounds good when you're in an interview and somebody asks, can you multitask? They want to know, can you do a lot? I mean, we're going to pay you, so can you do a whole lot of stuff and drive yourself crazy for this paycheck? And of course, you may say yes. But in truth, the best way to do this without stressing yourself out or having a stroke is to deal with one task at a time. It's the most effective way. So don't scatter your energy. Choose one high impact category. Money, visibility, health, content, spirituality, whatever your deal is, let's just say it's visibility. Let's say for the sake of this example, it's visibility because your audience growth is sluggish. Okay, visibility. You choose that area. Number 2, what am I going to do? Ask the question, what's 1%? What's the 1% asking? What's the question? What is the smallest action I can take today that improves this area by 1%? So if your problem is visibility, what is the smallest action I can take to improve it by 1%? So if your problem is visibility, here's some things that may be true. 1, posting a story with a poll. That could improve your visibility. Number 2, sending a DM to an ideal client or a partner, potential partner. Number 3, reposting an old reel. No overthinking, no perfection, just momentum. Momentum math is what we're going to call this. Step number 3, stack your 1%. Stack them up. Start having these small successes and just keep stacking them up. Stack the 1% shifts over 7 days. Each day, choose a new micro action. Track it. That's what the 1% tracker is for. And of course, we're going to have that 1% tracker for you when we're done with the series, so you can go in and download, have access to it. If you're a content creator, or even if you're not, because if you got a product or service in these days, you need to be a content creator too if you want to get your stuff out there. Okay? So since we're all content creators, day 1, draft a new hook. Day 2, film 15 seconds of a B-roll. Day 3, write 3 captions. Day 4, engage with 10 followers. Don't just put your stuff out there. Engage with the people who are liking and commenting. Engage with your audience. That's the way you build your audience. Day 5, test a CTA. Test a CTA. That's a call to action. For example, many times I'll tell you guys, please go out and subscribe, or please share the podcast with your family members, your loved ones, your friends, your associates. Please go into the comments and send us a text, et cetera, et cetera. That's a CTA, a call to action. Day 6, batch 2 reels. Create 2 reels and put them out. And then day 7, go live for about 3 minutes. Going live is our next steps. We do a lot of this, and going live is one of the things that we've not done before, and we're going to do this as soon as the series is done. So that'll be something that you guys can look forward to, and I can tell you how it's going for us, and this is something that I'm suggesting that you do. Again, small actions, stacked energy, massive shift. Small action, stacked energy, massive shifts. Okay? Let's get to number 4. Number 4 is review. Weekly gains, not just daily effort. So at the end of the week, I want you to reflect back. What reflects easier now? What feels easier now? What compounded? Did you see any results? And if so, what? Where did that 1% actually create 10% results? Where did the 1% actually create 10% results? This will rewire your brain to trust the process and keep showing up. And this is very important because some days maybe you don't see any results, but some days you do. So trust the process. Keep showing up. Consistency is the key. And lastly, anchor it with identity. All right, so hear me good. Anchor this with identity. Don't just track the action. Track your shift in the way that you think about the action and the way that you think about yourself. Say to yourself, I am someone who follows through. I am someone who follows through. I create momentum even on my lowest energy days. I can create momentum even on my lowest energy days. It's easy for me. I move forward daily, even when results are quiet. Even when they're minimal, I still move forward. I stick to the plan. I stick to the vision. I am someone who can hold the vision safe with me, even when the results are quiet. This is how habits turn into traits and traits to transformation, and transformation will bring wealth. Again, habits can turn to traits turn into transformation, and transformation into wealth. Now, don't dismay, because after day 30, you're going to get 5 days of just simple, or actually closer to 7 days of just simple techniques of what I just went over. It's no coincidence that these segments have included 5-part systems throughout this whole 30-day period. We're going to bottle all of this up. Yes, we're going to bottle all of this up, and it'll be available to you to download. So you don't have to worry that you're going to miss something, or, you got to go back and rewrite something. All right. Final words. Let's rock and roll. Don't wait for momentum. Don't wait for perfect timing or you being perfect, et cetera, et cetera. Don't wait for a big break. Don't wait for anything. Start today. Start today. The best time to start is today. The best time to fail is now. Why? Because you can learn from your failure. Failure is that sweet, sweet pavement on the road to success, and no better time than to start laying it down than the now. Momentum doesn't ask for your perfection. What it asks for is your participation. Don't leap into your next level. You can lean into it one day at a time, one action at a time, one micro action at a time. When you apply this to your content, to your money, to your vision, to your mindset, to your movement, you will look up 30 days from now. You'll be in a much different place than you are now. And you won't even recognize the old version of you. That is the power of compound energy. Okay? Compound energy. Guys, this is a pretty powerful segment. There's a lot here. So I really would, I say it all the time, but please go back and listen to the podcast again. There's a lot of nuggets in here. I want to make sure that you caught everything. This can be and will be the transformational part. If you get this part of it, the consistency, we've already talked about resilience. We've already talked about, just sticking to your vision, but really getting a full grasp on doing something small, changing your life 1% each day, that can have a very, very large effect on your overall quality of life. And that's the whole reason you listen to this podcast. Hey guys, let me know what you think. Send me a text. Go right there into the show notes and let us know how you're enjoying the podcast. Tomorrow, since we've already recorded day 29, we're recording day 30. And so we'll be done. And then we're going to jump into the supplemental series. So stick around, come back, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Thanks, guys. That's all for today's episode of ReThink. We hope that you've enjoyed this exploration of new ideas and perspectives and found valuable insights and strategies that you can apply to your life. Remember, you are the source of your own success and fulfillment. And by embracing new ways of thinking, you can unlock your true potential and, yes, create the life that you truly desire. Now, if you've enjoyed this episode, we encourage you to support the podcast by sharing it with your friends, your family members, your loved ones, and associates, and even your followers on social media. Also, leave us a review on your favorite podcast platform. Lastly, don't forget to check out our show notes for free downloads and empowering ebooks that can help you on your journey of personal growth and empowerment. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. We look forward to exploring more ideas and insights with you in the next episode of ReThink.